It's the OG fact checker here to give you a juicy tidbit of history that's verified. Yes, I'm back from my unannounced 2-week break. I hope you missed me. It was sheer luck that I stumbled across the person who's the focus of this episode. And the funny part is that he was under my nose for months. I would always migrate towards his artwork at the Smithsonian American Art Museum, or SAM, even though there's a Lois Mailou Jones and a couple of very colorful William Johnsons competing for attention right across the hall. Then I researched his story and understood why I kept instinctively seeking out his work. Medicine and science has come a long way in helping people with a disability, like those with a defective or missing appendage. But the ability to adapt, thrive, and perform as though that disability doesn't exist takes a persistent person with a curious mind. The examples of people who do just that are endless. Watch the Paralympic Games sometimes. It's more nail biting than the Olympic Games, especially archery, where people with no arms compete. And don't forget Jim Abbott, the left handed pitcher who was born with a deformed right arm. He was the first U.S. pitcher to beat the Cuba national team in Cuba at the Pan American Games. Today, we see robotic arms and realistic prosthetics, but in the 1920s, it was a different story, especially if you were a Black man. What do you do when you have to deal with discrimination and you have a disability? Do you give up on life, never challenging yourself until you ever so slowly disappear? Or do you flip that negative and turn it into a strength that can give you a career you never imagined, like Jim Abbott's? Well, that's what Horace Pippin of Westchester, Pennsylvania did. He turned a negative into a positive, and he did it before Abbott. Pippin, a World War I veteran, lost the use of his right arm in combat from an enemy bullet. But he took his childhood passion for sketching and flipped that passion into a lifelong career as a folk or self taught painter during the New Negro Arts movement, more popularly known as the Harlem Renaissance. That's why the title of this episode is One Arm? No problem.